Hi. So today we are not coding, improving ourselves and seeing that improving ourselves, not seeing anything else. Improving. Let me first of all check how the videos are copyrighted or not. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Check. What? I guess it's not. Let's start.
What if I told you that confidence has nothing to do with feeling ready and everything to do with doing it scared? I have built multiple businesses. So if you've ever wondered how to stay calm in a situation or how to stop overthinking or how to build real confidence, here's how. I'm here to tell you how to actually build confidence. Most people have it backwards. Confidence is the output, not the input. A lot of people ask me, Layla, how do I build confidence? And I get it because it's just like everyone's like, oh, believe. In yourself. You just need to believe in yourself. And they think that you need to write these affirmations on the bathroom mirror every morning. And listen, that's what I did when I was in my early 20s. I'm strong. I am capable. I am confident. And guess what? Nothing changed. It didn't do anything. Having those things written on my mirror didn't do jack for how I felt the rest of my reason for that is because confidence comes from action. And that's why I say so often, your mood, follow the plan. Because if you keep the promises that you make to yourself, especially when you don't feel like doing it, that's the input that leads to the output of confidence. And that's what most people miss. They're so busy chasing the result. It's like if you think about it, if somebody's like, I really just want to be skinny, right? And so that all they do is just like thinking about being skinny, wishing they could be skinny, but you're like, just get in the gym, get in the gym, do the workout, eat the food. You can't just wish for it, you have to work. So I'll give you an example. At the age of 21, I had no confidence in myself and I wasn't confident in my ability to pull it off. And so what I did is I said, okay, I'm at least gonna put together a plan. So what I did is I moved to California. I got an apartment and then I looked for every place that I could work, which was a gym, because I had my degree in exercise science, within walking distance. And I had to do walking distance because I was like, I can't afford to pay for too much gas because I don't have money. And so I ended up getting a job at 24 Hour Fitness. And when I got the job, what I realized within the first 2 days was that the job wasn't about fitness. It wasn't about everything I'd learned. It was actually about marketing and to do this. But at the same time, what I'm seeing is my bank account every single day, I had $5,000 and just down, down, down. My rent was $1,400 a month, food, gas, everything else, insurance, paying off loan debt, all those things. every single month, I was like, I've got 3 months. And so I was like, I have to learn how to do this. And the thing is that I knew, I was like, I don't want to be the person who walks out. I don't want to be the person who quits, because I knew that was just going to make me feel worse about myself. And so I put in the reps. I said, I'm going to read 5 books on sales. I'm going to be there at 4 a.m. I'm going to leave at 9 p.m. I'm going to drill. I'm going to take every opportunity to meet with somebody who's better than me. I'm going to take all the opportunity possible to learn the skill. I was so nervous the first time I went to make my first sale that I went into the bathroom because I thought I was going to throw up. I went into the bathroom. I didn't leave. I didn't quit. And what happened was that I was absolutely fucking terrified for the first 30 days. I remember the moment where I made my first sale, and my manager, my team, everybody came, they all crowded around me, and they were like, you did it. And what was crazy was that none of the celebration mattered. It wasn't the fact that everyone...
Am I now? Am I live now? Hope so. I'm live now. Uh, okay, got it. Yeah, good to go now.
when you're younger and you're like, how is that person so confident, right? Like, given all their circumstances, maybe what they look like, maybe their job, their career, they've done work that you haven't done. And that's the thing. You have to work for it. You have to put it into existence, and you have to make it happen. Here's the thing. Your brain gathers evidence, is what builds the identity and confidence over time. So someone says to me, Layla, I want to go and speak at this event, but I'm not confident to speak at that event. I said, it would be absurd to think that you would be confident when you've never fucking spoken on stage before. Of course that's not going to happen. Our brains like to predict what's likely to happen. If you've never done something before, your brain says, I don't know what could happen, so I'm gonna make you scared. And if you're scared, you're gonna avoid it, which means that you won't die, right? Because our brains are wired for survival, not success. And so it is crazy to think that you would actually have confidence when you haven't done the thing yet. You will become confident once you've done the thing, because your brain does it. It sees you didn't die, and it says, it's okay, you can do it again. Now, here's the thing. I wasn't like forever confident now, because just like a muscle that you work out gets weak if you don't put it under pressure, so does confidence. Confidence is like a muscle. So if you don't work out that muscle, it's just gonna get weaker and weaker over time. So if you want to build unshakable confidence, then you need a habit that tracks the truth, not your mood. Now, what do I mean by that? When I was 100 pounds overweight and I wanted to lose that 100 pounds, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna freaking start doing what fit people do. I'm gonna eat the way they do. I'm gonna work out the way they do. I'm gonna try and even dress the way they do. And I'm gonna hope and pray it actually works, right? Because I'm sick of being fat. But the most important thing I started doing is I started tracking every single day what I ate when I worked out. It's not that within the day I lost 50 pounds between Monday and Tuesday, right? But I did notice that even if I felt like I overate, or even if I felt like I was slacking, or if I felt like my workout wasn't perfect because I was on a trip, I still consistently tracked, and I still saw progress over time. Now, maybe it wasn't between Monday and Tuesday, but I could see it between Monday and Monday, or Monday and 2 Mondays from now. And so I saw that the line wasn't like this, the line was like this. And over time, I did make a lot of progress. And that's when I realized confidence comes from data. not dopamine. And over time, what happens is that evidence that you're feeding your brain helps override the emotional narratives that you tell yourself. Your brain will follow the evidence. And so tracking things and tracking our progress, the reason why it keeps people on track is because your brain looks at it and it objectively says, oh wow, this is evidence, this is data, this is important, and I'm going to believe it. Before that, all that's happening is that you feel like even when you're making progress. Have you ever felt that way before? Have you ever felt like you're making progress, but you still feel like good about yourself? Lots of people actually feel that way. And the reason why they feel like is because they don't track their progress, because progress doesn't go like this. So you remember the days that you feel low, but you don't remember the days that you feel high. But if you look at the progress and you track, you see all the days that were high. And then you're like, oh, I actually had 5 good days this week and only 2 bad ones. But it's just that our brains love to take the negative and make it bigger than it is. And so we have to fight that natural tendency by tracking our wins. Now, here's the thing. If you're struggling to stay consistent and you're like, I am tracking things, but I still don't eat, the fastest way to build competence is to start with something small, so small that you can't lose. Okay, great example of this is I had a friend who every single time he started with a new client, and this is a client who's trying, he did not get them to try and eat less the first week. He didn't get them to try and go to the gym the first week. He didn't even have them measure themselves the first week. The first 7 days of his program, he just asked them to make their bed and take. Why is that? Because he wanted to make it something so easy and so small that he knew that by the end of 7 days, they would feel good about the fact that they had made their bed every day. And so what that did is it created the confidence in that person. He felt like they could take the next step. And people think, oh, it's so small, I'm not going to feel the reward of it. That's not the case. That's not how it works. You will feel good no matter how small the progress was, as long as you get the reward. For example, every quarter, every 3 months in my business, I decide what are my goals for that quarter, right? And then it's like, okay, I have these 3 or 4 big goals that I have for the quarter that I'm going to tackle. But it's not that I hit it, yes or no. I take each goal and I break it down as small as possible. And then every single day I go in and I'm like, what have I accomplished on the way to my goal? If I have 20 steps in each of the goals I have, I get to go in and I get to check. And it's funny because if I look at these goals, it feels very overwhelming until I realize that almost every day I'm checking off at least one piece of one goal. And that has helped me so much in realizing that if I were to try and tackle all 4 of those goals in 1 week, I'm going to stumble and probably going to fail, right? And then I'm going to be really bad. I'm going to beat myself up. I'm going to have less energy to attack the next thing. But if I break it down into small steps, and I just focus on, can I just accomplish 1 step a day? Then I realize like I feel a sense of momentum and I feel good about myself. I feel like, wow, I'm making progress. I'm the kind of person who keeps their word. I'm the kind of person who achieves goals. Versus the other narrative, which is you try to take on something too big and then you're like, I'm the kind of person who doesn't achieve their goals. I don't feel good about myself. And then you spend all this time beating yourself up because you set a goal that was too big and is unrealistic. The frame I use is tiny tweaks. What is one tiny tweak I can make today? And then what's one tiny tweak I can make tomorrow? And so on and so forth. And so like, for example, when I'm trying to lose 5 pounds, I'll be like, oh gosh, you know what? I had too many bites of that ice cream. Versus the other narrative, which is you try to take on something too big and then you're like, I'm the kind of person who doesn't achieve their goals. I don't feel good about myself. And then you spend all this time beating yourself up because you set a goal that was too big and is unrealistic. The frame I use is tiny tweaks. What is one tiny tweak I can make today? And then what's one tiny tweak I can make tomorrow? And so on and so forth. And so like, for example, when I'm trying to lose 5 pounds, I'll be like, oh gosh, you know what? I had too many bites of that ice cream tonight. What am I going to do tomorrow? I'm actually not even going to say that tomorrow I'm going to have 0 dessert. I'm going to say tomorrow I'm going to have a Ghirardelli chocolate. Just one. Another example. I have a lot of people that join my team and they're really scared of public speaking and they want to be a leader in the company. And so they're like, oh my gosh, I don't even understand. You told me that we have this full team meetup next year. How am I going to get on stage and speak to the team? I can't even barely do anything. And I'm like, listen, baby steps, tiny tweaks we're going to do. On the huddle on Monday, I want you to just run this portion. It's 60 seconds. Then on this meeting on Tuesday, I just want you to give a shout out to one person. And then on the next week, I want you to own this portion. It's 120 seconds. And then I want you to also give 2 shout outs to this person. And I've used that methodology over time where I take people from first, they couldn't even speak on a meeting, to then they're running a piece of the meeting, to then they're running the whole meeting, to then I say, wow, if you can run a meeting, you can do a presentation to the
Yep.
team. Then they're doing a presentation
कल रात्रे
to their team. And then all of a sudden, if you can do a presentation to your team, you can do a presentation to the whole team. And they're doing a presentation to the whole team. And then eventually they're speaking at our annual event. I've used this time again to take people who were terrified of public speaking and turn them into rock stars on stage. But it starts with
थंबनेल वाची नाही थंबनेल डिस्क्रिप्शन वाचीला खाली ડિસ્ક્રિપ્શનમાં શું લખ્યું છે ટાઇટલ વાંચી લે કઈ વાંધો નહીં ટાઇટલ કઈ નહીં ખાલી એમ ઇમ્પ્રુવિંગ માય સેલ્ફ એટલે કંઈક માઇન્ડસેટ ઇમ્પ્રુવ કરું છું થોડુંક એમ આજે કોડિંગ તો અત્યારે કરવાની ઈચ્છા નથી માથું થોડુંક દુખાય છે એટલે અને એટલે શું કહેવાય માઇન્ડસેટ બેટર મતલબ માઇન્ડસેટ જ બેટર કે તું કંઈક વધારે વસ્તુ ઉપર કંઈક વધારે રિએક્ટ નહીં કર પછી હાઉ તું કંઈક વસ્તુને અપ્રોચ કેમ ન કરે કંઈક વસ્તુ મતલબ કંઈક વર્કને ગોલને પછી હાઉ ટુ ફોલો યોર ગોલ કઈ રીતે કરીએ કે અચ્છા અચ્છા હા બરાબર તું તો ન્યા છે નહીં તું ક્યારે આવવાનો છે પાછો પાછો ક્યારે આવવાનો છે હજી 4 ડેઝની વાર છે ઓ માય ગોડ લોંગ ટ્રીપ 5 days સોરી કરો કરો મોજ કરો એન્જોય બ્રો કોલ કરજે તો કોલ અત્યારે કરો તો અત્યારે કરો કોલ કોલ કરજે ને કરો તો અત્યારે કરો ફ્રી હોય તો હું તો ફ્રી જ છું આ એક વિડીયો પતે એટલે પછી બીજું જોવાનું છે પણ થોડીક વાર 5 મિનિટ
something as simple as I don't say, let's go do it. Oh no, confidence is not an input. You need to track your wins to create that output, and you need to break those tasks down into tiny, tiny tweaks to get there. But I know what you're thinking, which is what if I'm too scared to even start? Baby steps. Understand is that emotion follows motion, not the other way around. Here's what I've learned. Choosing to tolerate fear and discomfort rather than trying to eliminate it is how I've been able to transform everything that I have done, everything I've been terrified from content creation to public speaking to running a giant company to buying multiple buildings to doing everything. I was no less scared than you watching this video. I just decided that I was willing to be scared. I decided that I was willing to include. Here's the thing. Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Fear means your brain is working properly. It's not wrong that you feel scared. The thing that's stopping you is the fact that you feel like you must get rid of the fear in order to do the thing. But that's not how your brain has been set up. I'm sorry to tell you. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It will continue to feel scared until you do the thing. The fear will be the strongest before you have the breakthrough. And what I tell people is this, and what I've learned is that once you feel it, right, you step into the situation you're scared of, you step on stage, you're behind a camera, you sign the document. You can't control the fear. And so whether you want the fear to go away or not, it will. I promise you, because that's how we are physiologically wired. So the moment you step on stage, here's what's gonna happen. Say you're terrified of public speaking. You're gonna step on that stage. This happens to me every time. Mouth dry, palms are sweaty, knees weak, whatever it might be, right? I step on stage, that's how I feel. Then within 15 seconds, my heart rate starts to go from like 190 to like 150. And then within a minute, I start to feel like I've spit in my mouth again. And then within 2 minutes, I don't feel any of it. It's not because I try to get rid of the fear, it's because I didn't run away from the situation and I didn't try to get rid of the fear. And so what I learned in doing all these things is that my emotions follow emotion. That is how you behave your way into confidence, and you build up so much evidence that it would be unreasonable not to be confident. So here's how I want this to feel for you. I want you to visualize what's the thing that you're so scared of that you wish you had confidence in order to confront it. And now I want you to picture it like this. This is how you actually confront fear. You say, okay, here's this thing that I'm really terrified of, right? Maybe it's a conversation I'm gonna have with my spouse. Maybe it's I'm gonna tell my parents I'm not going to college. Maybe it's I'm going to fire somebody in my company, whatever it is. Instead of trying to meditate or trying to affirm or trying to manifest the fear away, you're instead gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna take the fear, I'm gonna put it all in my purse, and I'm gonna take it with me to wherever I go, whatever I do. So I'm not gonna try and get rid of it. In fact, I'm going to try and take it with me because I'm still gonna go do the thing. I'm gonna have the fear with me. It's just like my little friend in my purse. I know it's there. I feel it. It's like in my stomach. It's like in my body. I don't like it necessarily, but I'm gonna take it with me and I'm gonna do the thing anyways. And that is how I approach everything in life. I'm not confident because I don't have fear. I'm confident because I do things despite the fear. Here's the thing, building confidence is the first step to getting anything you want in life and learning the formula for how to build confidence that you just learned in this video. But maybe now you want to take that and you want to apply that to some other specific areas of your life. And if that's the case, if you want to learn how to lead yourself
act as if act as if nothing affects you.
Every little comment, every and move forward. How do you cultivate this level of control? It begins with training your mind daily. Practice the habit of pausing before reacting. Ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is my reaction necessary, or am I giving away my power? By consistently choosing non-reaction, you build an armor that shields you from the trivialities of life. Another crucial element is visualization. See yourself as someone who moves through life unaffected. Version of at insults does not crumble under pressure. The mind is powerful, and what you repeatedly visualize, you become. Let people wonder why you're not rattled. Let them question how you stay composed, because when you show that nothing bothers you, you control the game. You become an enigma, someone people look up to but can never quite figure out. And in that mystery lies your strength. True power is not about domination or aggression. It is about presence. A presence so strong that it doesn't need to prove itself. A presence that commands respect through silence, through an unshakable state of mind. Master this, and you master life. To stay unshaken. People you know, they don't react impulsively. They don't let emotions dictate their actions. They pause, they assess, they respond with intention. This because they lack emotions, but because they have mastered them. Emotional detachment isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about controlling them. Picture this. You're in a heated argument, and the other person is trying to provoke you. Do you react? Do you let their words control your emotions? Or do you smile unaffected, knowing their words hold no weight unless you give them power? Emotional detachment is about refusing to hand over your peace to external forces. It's about understanding that your inner world is sacred, untouchable. When you adopt this approach, stress decreases, clarity increases, and life's challenges become mere puzzles to solve, not battles to fight. Think of the principle that thoughts shape reality. What you focus on, you attract. When you allow external events to dictate your state of mind, you become a slave to circumstances. But when you take control of your thoughts and emotions, you become the architect of your own fate. Consider the story of a man who lost everything. His business collapsed, his investments crumbled, and he was left with nothing. Most would drown in despair, but not him. Instead, he saw the failure as a lesson, not a tragedy. He understood that his mind was his greatest asset, and no external loss could take that away. With this mindset, he rebuilt everything, stronger than before. This is the power of detachment. When you stop identifying with failures or setbacks, you free yourself to rise above them. A major reason people fail to achieve their goals is emotional turbulence. They let fear, doubt, and frustration control them. They start with ambition, but give up the moment challenges arise. But those who master detachment understand that emotions are just fleeting sensations. They don't allow temporary feelings to derail long-term goals. They persist because they have trained their minds to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Training yourself to be emotionally detached does not mean you become cold or indifferent. It means you no longer allow external forces to dictate your internal state. You can experience joy, sadness, and excitement, but you remain in control. Your emotions serve you, not the other. It is in waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It is in choosing to stay silent when you could argue. It is in pushing forward when everything in you wants to quit. The mind, like a muscle, grows an opportunity to strengthen it. One of the most powerful mental habits you can develop is detachment. When you learn to separate yourself from emotions, from outcomes, from external chaos, you gain an advantage over those who are constantly reacting. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means control. It means understanding that you cannot control the world, but you can always control your response to it. Imagine a storm. Most people get caught in the winds, tossed around by circumstances, struggling against forces they cannot control. But those with unshakable minds, they stand still, grounded, letting the storm pass around them. They do not waste energy fighting the uncontrollable. They reserve their strength for what truly matters. Another crucial element of mental training is discipline. The mind will always seek comfort, ease, and the path of least resistance. This is why most people never achieve true strength. They give in to distractions, procrastination, and self-doubt. But discipline rewires the mind. When you consistently choose discipline over comfort, you reshape yourself into someone who is unstoppable in your focus. Exercise to reinforce discipline. Read to expand your mind. Keep your word to yourself, no matter how small the promise. Over time, these small acts build into something powerful, an unshakable mind. The world will test you. People will challenge you. Life obstacles in your path. But the moment you master your mind, nothing external can shake you. You will move through life with a level of confidence, control, and power that few ever achieve. And when others ask how you remain so steady, so unbothered, so composed, you will know the answer. You trained for this, you built this, and nothing can take it from you. 10, mastering the art of moving in silence. Real power moves in silence. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't need validation. It simply acts and lets the results speak for themselves. The loudest people in the room are often the weakest. They crave recognition. They announce their intentions. They seek approval. But the strongest, they move quietly, strategically, with precision. If you want to be respected, stop announcing your plans. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. Just do the work. Just make progress. Success is not built through words. It is built through action. The more you talk, the more you invite scrutiny, doubt, and resistance. But when you work in silence, no one sees you coming. And by the time they notice, it's too late. The strongest individuals don't waste energy proving themselves. They let their success do the talking. They don't argue. They don't seek to impress. They don't over.
Huh? Okay. How? How can I primary injections? What the hell is this? How do I do this? Just tell me. What the hell is this? How do I do this? Just tell me. What the hell is this?
Learn to separate yourself from
Okay, now I get it. 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 Hello. 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 Hello.
explain, they move with certainty, and that certainty explain, they command they move with certainty. The moment you stop looking for validation, they move with certainty. The moment you stop looking for validation, they move unstoppable. There's a reason why the most influential figures in history were not the ones constantly talking about their next move. They understood that power is not in promises, it is in execution. They did not explain their vision to those who wouldn't understand. They simply built, created, and dominated in silence. If you want to master this, develop the discipline to keep your ambitions private. Work relentlessly, but do not seek applause. Let people wonder about your next move. Let them question how you stay so composed, so unfazed. The less they know, the more control you have. Silence is not passivity, it is strategy. It forces people to fill in the gaps, to speculate, to overthink. And in that uncertainty, you gain power. When you do speak, your words carry weight. People listen not because you demand attention, but because they know you don't waste words. In a world where everyone is desperate to be noticed, be the one who doesn't seek recognition, While others chase attention, you chase mastery. While they focus on appearing successful, you focus on actually becoming successful. This is the difference between those who talk about doing great things and those who actually do them. If you feel the urge to explain your plans, resist it. If you feel the need to prove yourself, hold back. If you want to show the world your progress, let your results do it for you. The moment you stop feeding external validation, you'll notice something. People will start paying attention. They will wonder how you did it. They will question how nothing ever seems to bother you. And that's when you'll know you've truly mastered the game. Not because you told the world, but because you showed it without saying a word.
How do you train your brain to be able to think faster when you're being put on the spot? You see, when someone asks you a question and you're not prepared, what happens? Your brain hits the panic button, you open a dozen browser tabs in your head, trying to scramble for what to say. And as you start verbalizing your thoughts, it causes you to ramble instead of speaking clear points. This can be extremely frustrating and sometimes even embarrassing. How do I know? Because I used to do this. It makes you feel awful. It makes you feel incompetent, and it makes you look like you're not confident. My name's Vin Zhang, and I'm a communication skills teacher. And I want to share with you the exact solution to this common problem, which I shared on stage at my recent public speaking workshop in Sydney. So make sure you listen closely.
With prepared content, I'm much more confident. If I have to speak off the cuff, a lot less confident.
Okay, so this is really important to dissect here.
Yeah.
Because if someone asks you a question and you're not prepared, then what do you fall back on? Generally rambling. This is where frameworks are important. So when you've got a framework, you fall back on the framework instead. How many of you use frameworks when you communicate? You've got frameworks you use? Okay, fantastic. So small part of the room. I'd say less than 10% of you. I'm going to share with you a very simple framework. This is one I still use, and I'm using it in this Q&A right now. 3, 2, 1. I love this framework. It's fantastic. It's the most brilliant thing. I use this for social media content. I use this to do Q&A. I use this when I have very little time to prep. 3, 2, 1 means what? It means 3 steps, 2 types, and the one thing. 3, 2, 1. 3 steps, 2 types, 1 thing. So I'm going to put you under the spot, and I'm going to teach you how to use it. So could the audience members, could you give me a random topic? Sorry?
Avocados.
Avocados. Thank you. Right? Good. So avocado. The one thing about avocados is it's incredible on a keto diet. Right? It's just fantastic. I love eating avocados, and it's such a high protein source. It's fantastic, right? So that's the one thing. That's me using the one thing. So I immediately can give my brain something to lean on, as opposed to, oh my God, what do I talk about? Do I talk about it's green? Do I talk about when you eat avocados? Do you talk about when it's ripe? Do you talk about if you leave it in your fridge too long, it goes black and you can't eat it? Or can you still eat it? I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm talking about. Should I put always tomato in it? Should I have it the way the Mexicans do it? That's what your brain does. And when your brain does that, you go blank. You go blank. And then you don't say anything, and you get tongue twisted. Whereas this, right? And then you can go, well, there are 2 ways, 2 types. I'll just switch this over and say 2 ways. 2 ways to have an avocado. No one's ever ready. It's fine. No one's ever ready. You see, I'm going to give you the random topic, and I want to formulate your answer in 3 seconds. I know it's crazy. I'm going to simulate pressure here for you, okay? So the topic is... And pause. Before I play the rest of the clip of my student absolutely crushing the 3-2-1 framework, I just want to remind you that this is just one of many communication frameworks that you can learn. I recorded a free 2-hour training diving deeper into the 3-2-1 framework and 2 other powerful communication frameworks that will help you avoid going blank while under pressure. It's going to stop you rambling and increase your confidence in everyday conversations. If you want access to that training, it's super easy. Just click the first link you see in the description below, or check out the pinned comment. I've put a link there as well. All right, now please watch the rest of the video. It's amazing how she handles this. So the topic is travel. 3, 2,
The one thing about travel is it's magnificent.
Boom.
You can
Good.
go anywhere you want.
Perfect. Love it. Round of applause, please. Thank you. Next. Straight away into the mic. Next one. 2 types.
2 types of travel is you can travel regionally and you can travel internationally via a plane.
Round of applause again. That was fantastic. Again, 3 steps to travel.
3-step travel is plan it, book it, go.
Big round of applause. She did it, right? It's so easy, yet when we don't have frameworks, our brain just to, oh my God, what do you mean travel? I hate travel, I don't know my kids. And then your brain goes crazy. You did that before I finished counting down to 3. Yeah. That was so arrogant. I didn't even let me finish. I was still going, and you went, I got this, man. And see, that's the difference between being prepared with a framework, because now you're excited to communicate. When you're not prepared, you're excited, you're scared. You don't want to communicate because you leaned into it. If you noticed your body language, you came into the mic, you walked towards me because you felt ready. So when you fall back on a framework, it just makes things simple. There are 4 types of communicators that every single person can be categorized into. There are the reds, who are driven by power and results, the greens, who are driven by peace and stability, the blues, who are driven by logic and structure, and then the yellows, who are driven by fun and connection. Understanding these 4 colors and types of people has allowed me to form a strong connection with 95% of the people that I've met as an international keynote speaker and communication coach, even if we have nothing in common. In this video, what you're going to learn is, first of all, what color are you? The second thing, the problem each color faces. And then the third thing is, well, how do you talk to each of the different colors? If you don't learn this, you'll keep wondering why talking to some people feels effortless, while talking to others feels impossible. But imagine being able to walk into any room and instantly get a read on someone, to know what drives them, what they are afraid of, and how to speak their language so that you can connect with them. And it starts with, firstly, knowing what color you are. I learned how to do this with the color system created by Thomas Erickson, who wrote the book Surrounded by Idiots. Now, this is an amazing book. If you get the time, definitely give it a read. It's awesome. Now, the book suggests that you fall into one of these 4 colors. And of course, we are all a mix of all of us, but we all have a default color we tend to speak. As I talk through these colors, I want you to think of the one that you are, and then I want you to think of which friend comes to mind for the other colors. This makes remembering all the colors really easy and sticky. First, we have red. Now, reds are bold, decisive, competitive, results-driven, and they're a little bit impatient. Then have the yellows. They are social, enthusiastic. They're a little bit impatient. Then next we have the yellows. We have red. Now, reds are bold, decisive, competitive, results-driven, and they're a little bit impatient. Then next we have the yellows. They are social, enthusiastic, talkative, creative, optimistic. Then next we have the greens. They are calm, supportive, reliable. They don't like sudden changes, and they're extremely patient. Then finally we've got the blues. The blues are precise, detail-oriented, they're cautious, critical thinkers, and they're perfectionists. Now, if you're still unsure at this point which color you are, then I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions to better help you identify which color you are. Question number 1. Are you more introverted or extroverted? If you're introverted, that means you're either a blue or a green. And if you're extroverted, that means you're either a red or a yellow. Next question. Am I more logical or emotional? If you're more logical, then that means you're either a green or a red. And if you're more emotional, that means you're either a blue or...
I'm more emotional, I think. And the one nature, right? Emotional, but am I emotional or logical? I have to think. I have to call my friend for that. Am I emotional or logical? One question. Bye. हेलो हेलो अरे हंबड़ मैं तेरे एक क्वेश्चन पूछूं हेलो जवाब दे सीधो हूँ इमोशनल है हाँ हूँ इमोशनल છું કે લોજિકલ ઇમોશનલ રીતના વિચારવા વાળો બંદો છું કે લોજિકલ રીતના વિચારવા વાળો બંદો છું? હે? મધ્યમ? બંને એમ? ના, તારે એક જવાબ દેવાનો. હું બી બંનેમાં અટકેલો છું, કે મને એવું લાગે છે કે હું ઇમોશનલ વિચાર કરું છું, લોજિકલ વિચાર કરું છું. શું કોની જોડે? હા, હોવ ત્યારે જ ઇમોશનલ, પછી તો લોજિકલ. એટલે મારા ખ્યાલથી હવે તું ઇમોશનલ. આઈ ડોન્ટ થિંક તું બીજાની જોડે બી ઇમોશનલ રીતે વાત કરે છે. ઇમોશનલી મતલબ જે તને મનમાં આવે એવી બોલે તું. તું તારું વિચાર કરીને બોલે. હા, તો બે વિડીયો છે મારી જોડે, તું જોજે, સરસ મજાના, તને મોકલીશ. ક્યારે? અત્યારે ને? જો મારે 4 મિનિટમાં હું ફ્રી છું. 4 મિનિટ. તું બોલી કે બોલ ને. અચ્છા. હા, હા. હમ, અચ્છા. હમ. અચ્છા. હા, એટલે જમવા એ લોકોને ઘર આગળ જવાનું હતું કે જમવા તમારે ઘર આગળ જવાનું હતું? હા. હમ. 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 અચ્છા. હમ. અચ્છા. હા. હા. પણ એમ નહીં, તમે લોકો બુવાના ઘરે ગયા હતા ને? એક જ ના ઘરે ગયા હતા ને? એમને બે બુઓ એક જગ્યાએ રહે છે? હા. જો હું એમ જ પૂછું છું, તમે લોકો સ્વામીના ઘરે ગયા હતા તો સીધું વસ્તુ છે, જેના ઘરે ગયા હોય એ લોકોને પૈસા આપવાના હોય જમવાના. હવે એમાં હું આના પૈસા લઈશ ને તું તારા પૈસા લેવું થોડી ના હોય. હા, કઈ નહીં, ચલો ઠીક છે, સમજીએ. હા. હા, કઈ નહીં, ચાલ ઠીક છે, સમજ્યો. હા. અચ્છા. સમજી ગયા બાપા, તું સમજ ને બાપા, તું બોલ ને આગળ, પછી શું થયું? હમ. અચ્છા. હમ. હા. ઠીક છે. હા. 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 જેટલા જણા હતા અને જેટલું બિલ આવ્યું છે એને ડિવાઇડેડ બાય જેટલા જણા હતા એ કરી નાખવું હતું ને. પછી તમારે 6 હતા. હા. 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 હમ. હા. 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 અચ્છા. હા, એ તો બરોબર છે ને. હા. હા. હમ. 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 हाँ. हम्म. કે પતિ તો કયો હવે શું છે? હમ. અચ્છા. હા. 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 હા, બરાબર છે. હમ. હમ. ટૂંકમાં તમારા કંધા ઉપરથી એ લોકોએ ગોળી છોડી. હમ. હમ. હા. હા, સર.
But you can ask a third question just in case. And the third question is, do I speak more deliberately? If you're more deliberate, that means you're either a green or a blue. And
જોઈ લે. ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ ઇન્ટ્રોવર્ટ છે. ઓલો બ્લુ અને બ્લુ એન્ડ ગ્રીન લોજિકલ ઇમોશનલ મતલબ
or quickly. Now, if you're more deliberate, that means you're either a green or a blue. And if you speak more quickly, then that
હું થોડું મને એવું લાગે જ છે મને બટ આઈ કેન ઓલ્સો I think that quickly build can say out quickly be out. So now I'm red and more green, red and green.
means you're a red or a yellow. And through the process of elimination, these questions are going to be able to help you work out which color you are. Now, use me as an example as you take these questions for you're a red or
Okay, આપણે મીઠું બનાવીએ તો green and yeah, sorry, આ બને deliberately quickly quickly એટલે આપણે જો થોડો blue type છે.
extroverted. Okay, so now emotional, you're correct. Ding, ding, ding. Now, if I'm emotional, that means I'm either a blue. And no, that's not because I'm Asian. I'm yellow because of this color profile. And after these two questions alone, you should know what color you are too. But if you're still stuck in
I am red. Fuck.
that means you're a red or a
Green. Sir. No, sorry. Blue.
yellow person alone, you should know what color you are too. But if you're still stuck and you're a little bit unsure, you can do one final check with that third question. So work out which one you are and then leave a comment below and tell me what your color is. Now, this is the core problem that we're addressing here. Most people communicate in their own color, assuming that everybody around them communicates the same way. When a red meets another red and they communicate with each other, they get along great. Whereas when a red's speaking to a green or a blue or a yellow, it feels frustrating. They clash, they disconnect, and then they don't respond the way they expect. Let's have a look at this situation here. You've got
Yes.
two reds about to connect. When you're, don't forget, it means you're direct, decisive, no fluff, or outcome. And when these two reds are about to connect, watch what happens.
So when are you handing in the project and what issues are you facing?
I'm going to hand it in today at 5 p.m. And I'm facing three specific problems. One, Peter's getting stuck in the weeds with the details. Two, Craig's being indecisive. And three, I love these skits. They're fantastic for YouTube engagement because it's what makes you like and subscribe.
God, I love talking to you.
God, I love talking to you too. Do you see that? When you communicate in a direct and decisive way, reds will love you because you're speaking their language. But here's the trap. When you speak to other colors, the blues and the greens and the yellows, they won't connect with you as much. They might even think of you as someone who's cold, abrasive, and maybe even a little scary.
I guess we'll stop here because we have some work now. For now, we'll continue. I guess sometime. Okay. Bye. Bye, chat. Bye. 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 Bye.